Did you know that Australia has about 22 million people, but more than 200 million rabbits? That means rabbits outnumber humans by almost 10 times. These animals have caused so much environmental damage. The Australian government officially considers them a destructive pest. For decades, Australia has tried many methods to control them, but with very little success. But here's something surprising. While Australia struggles with rabbits, China has actually imported millions of them over the last 30 years. Not to eat them, but to carry out a very unusual environmental experiment in one of its most dangerous deserts. And the results of that experiment shocked the entire world. When a desert slowly spreads and turns fertile land into barren sand, the process is called desertification. And one of the places that suffered greatly from this problem is the Kubuqi Desert in northern China. Years ago, the Kubuqi Desert was expanding rapidly. Every year, it swallowed nearly 500,000 acres of land. Farms were disappearing, villages were threatened, and huge areas were turning into lifeless sand. The Chinese government tried many projects to slow this disaster. In the 1950s and 1960s, they built sand control stations and planted trees. But the winds were strong and the sand kept spreading. Nothing seemed to work. Then one local entrepreneur changed everything. His name was Wang Wenbia. Instead of following traditional methods, Wang tried a strange and risky idea. He began placing dry bushes across large areas of desert in square patterns. Inside these squares, he planted willow trees. Willow trees are special because their roots can grow extremely deep underground, sometimes reaching hundreds of feet in search of water. This allows them to survive in very dry conditions. But there was a big problem. The desert winds were extremely strong. They could easily destroy young trees and blow away the moisture trapped in the soil. That's why Wang used dry bushes as barriers. At first, people laughed at him. They thought planting trees in a desert was impossible. But Wang kept going. For the first few years, the system worked. The trees survived and slowly began to grow. However, another challenge appeared. For willow trees to become valuable for industries like paper and furniture production, their new branches must be trimmed regularly. Cutting the young shoots allows the main trunk to grow thicker and stronger. But doing this work manually across the desert would be extremely expensive. That's when rabbits entered the story. China introduced a special breed known as Rex rabbits into the area. These rabbits are famous for their incredibly soft fur, which is often used to make luxury clothing. But their most important role is in their fur. Rex rabbits love to eat the young shoots that grow from willow trees. As the rabbits fed on these small branches, they naturally trimmed the trees. This allowed the trunks to grow stronger and thicker, exactly what the paper industry needed. In other words, the rabbits were doing the maintenance work for free. And that wasn't the only benefit. Rabbit waste turned out to be a powerful natural fertilizer. As the number of rabbits increased, the soil became richer and more fertile. Over time, the barren sand slowly began to transform into productive land. Another surprising factor helped even more. Rabbits can digest grass, but they cannot fully digest the seeds inside it. Those seeds pass through their system and return to the ground, where they eventually grow into new grass. So the rabbits were unintentionally planting vegetation. Little by little, a self-sustaining ecosystem started to develop. Trees stabilized the sand. Grass began to grow. The soil became fertile, and the rabbits supported the entire cycle. Seeing the success, Wang expanded the project. Bulldozers were used to level sand dunes and prepare new land for planting. More willow trees were planted, and local residents were encouraged to raise Rex rabbits. With support from the government, millions of rabbits were distributed to local communities. Within a decade, the transformation was incredible. What was once a lifeless desert slowly turned green. Today, the Kubuqi Desert covers around 18,600 square kilometers. According to reports, nearly one-third of that area has already been restored with vegetation. The region that was once called the Sea of Death is now often described as an ecological miracle, and the environmental impact is only part of the story. The project also created thousands of jobs. New villages were built, farms were established, and many families now earn stable incomes from agriculture and rabbit farming. Millions of rabbits are raised each year, and their fur, fertilizer, and other products contribute to the local economy. But this raises an interesting question. If rabbits can help restore deserts in China, why are they such a disaster in Australia? The answer lies in control. Rabbits were first introduced to Australia in 1859, when a British settler released just 24 rabbits for hunting. Without natural predators and with perfect environmental conditions, their population exploded. Within decades, they spread across the entire continent. In China, however, rabbits are managed in controlled farming systems. Their numbers are monitored, and their role in the ecosystem is carefully balanced. So in one country, they became a destructive pest, while in another, they became part of an environmental solution. And the story of the Kubuqi Desert doesn't end there. The region is also home to one of the world's largest solar power installations. Thousands of solar panels now stretch across the desert, generating clean electricity, while also helping reduce the panels blocked direct sunlight from the ground, reducing evaporation and allowing grass to grow underneath. Rabbits and other animals help maintain the vegetation naturally. It's a powerful example of how technology and nature can work together. What was once a symbol of environmental destruction has become a model for ecological recovery. Today, researchers from around the world study this project as a potential solution for fighting desertification in other regions. Because the lesson from Kubuqi is simple: when humans work with nature instead of against it, even a desert can come back to life.